Well, hello, this is Stewie. We are having a sexy party with Manny Moonraker on the Tempest universe. Cheers!
The views expressed on this podcast are that of the host and may not coincide with your own. Don't let that deter you from listening with an open mind. The UAP report will be printed in mass quantities is to avoid another pandemic shittigate. Lastly, the shit talk is explicit and your virgin mind is about to get probed. Let's get the show started, fuckers.
This is the Tempest universe.
Good evening, and welcome to the Hump Day episode of the Tempest Universe. As you heard like 5 times just now in the intro. Welcome today. We have some news to talk about. We got 4 articles that we're going to go through. And, honestly, there's some I told you so's. There's some things that we shared. Some things that we've talked about since back in the UFO Buster Radio days. You know what I'm talking about because you were there with me. Some of you are new. You did not know that this is what we used to talk about. Now, I had someone say that the podcast is not, NSFW, not safe for work. Are you fucking kidding me? Of course it's safe for work. When you're sitting at work taking your 15th unscheduled break and you're on the shitter listening to the podcast, that makes it safe for work. I'm telling you, you have no worries. Listen to the podcast, get an understanding of what the topic is about. A lot of people can't handle. I want to say this, and you guys take it for what it's worth because you guys are all blue collar. But you blue collar folks understand that there's a lot of people out there who are not sophisticated enough or have enough of an open mind to understand that the UFOs is not just little green men. There's a bigger and more scarier part of it. And there's also a part of UFOs/UAPs that it's about understanding where we fit in the universe. It's not just about ET. It's not about little green men or purple or yellow or orange, whatever fucking color they come in. Nobody cares. But it's more than that. And the people who have that rod stuck up their assholes, who only want to, continue with the stigma that people that talk about UFOs and UAPs are all about, little green men and aliens, and they're not going to be happy until this. No, fuck off. These guys are the ones on YouTube who listen and want to throw those hateration comments. But above everything else, the Tempest Universe is not like any other podcast, because you will go to another podcast and they will actually sit there like they're science types. They will give you like the most fully vetted, practiced speech on UFOs and legacy UFOs, shit from 4.2 far back, and make it sound like they got a PhD in ufology. Well, ladies and gentlemen, there's no fucking such thing. There is no PhD in ufology. There is no doctorate. There is no master's or a bachelor's. You get what you get, and you don't throw a fit. It is what it is. So if you write 10 books about UFOs, it does not make you a fucking scientist. I promise you. And a lot of people in these other podcasts, they will push people like they are the end-all, be-all about UFOs. But for fuck's sake, if that's who you are, and that's what you did with your book, why the fuck are we where we are right now? Still in the same place we were in the 40s and before that. So don't come on my podcast. You spend your time licking somebody else's balls. I just had to get that out there because, you know, that's how we roll around here. For those of you who did not catch the Blue Origin, oh man, the Blue Origin flight, we're going to talk about that just a little bit in a few minutes. Yeah. Let me tell you, I want to say this. For those of you who are on the Discord channel, you guys know Adam Baum, and he's actually been on here live a few times, because usually he listens the day after. But Adam Baum and I actually caught it together live while old, Bezos and the other crew members did their little flight thing. And man, like Adam Baum and I, we were on it. We should have had a live podcast commentating through the entire fucking launch, because it was wild. But we noticed so many things, and we should have done a live podcast, to be honest, because it was just fantastic. But anyway, hopefully you guys were able to catch that. But we'll talk about that a little bit in one of our news articles, and then we're going to go into Skinwalker Ranch. Jeez Louise. I mean, I can't. Sometimes I repeat things over and over. I'm doing the whole neck thing right now. Over and over and over. And people don't listen. There's an article today we're going to talk about which actually reiterates something that I said a few weeks ago, especially when it comes to these so-called potential congressional hearings. Somebody needs to be on that. And I think this article speaks to it. And then lastly, we get into the reason why scientists should not be involved in UFOs. This is the perfect example of that. And that'll be our last article for today. In the meantime, I got a message for Mr. Attack. Mr. Attack. Instagram. Mr. Attack, I know you have a nice little getup to take pictures of the moon. But Frank, it really is Frank, but I got to give you the foreign version. Frank has got an idea about validating a far side crater, and we need to know whether or not your rig has the right stuff. So hit me up on Instagram. Me and Frank, we have a mission for you. Lastly, I want to thank the folks in Australia. Where's Dave? I don't even think Dave's on the live chat right now. Dave, of course, or Idle Space, is our emissary from Australia. And I want to say Australia actually beat out so far for the month of July, has beat out Canada for the third place in the top 20 countries that listen to the Tempest Universe. And especially in Victoria, New South Wales, Western Australia, Queensland, Tasmania, South Africa. Shoot me right now. South Australia, Southern. God, thank you guys. I'm a Bogan too. I just want to say that. I am Bogan. Part Bogan here in Texas. So let's get on with our first track, because I don't want to mess this up anymore. Check it out. Or maybe you won't check it out. Man, this is for the longest time, even UFO Buster Radio through the early episodes of the Tempest Universe, we all talked about the silver phallus. The silver phallus is the SpaceX Starship. There is really zero ways around the fact that it looks like a phallus. But if you want one that really resembles that part of the male anatomy, it's the New Shepard. The New Shepard is a space dick. The actual title of this article is Blue Origin, the scientific reason rockets look like dicks. Finally, we have freaking full-ass media calling it the way it should be. We have now a bunch of dicks that are being sent into space. Could you imagine, if you will, that we have a space armada of aliens coming down, and Jeff Bezos says, "I've got the answer." And he launches all of his space dicks towards them to take them out. What a scene that is. That's strictly, that's like Austin Powers all the way. It is fantastic. So, on Tuesday, we saw the rocket with the, which really resembles a space dick, and its 4 passengers. Jeff Bezos, his brother, Wally Funk, and the kid from the Netherlands. Oh my. But scientists say, hey, let's give you the reason behind the space dicks. Nobody fucking asks you. We don't care. I don't care if it looks like a dick, as long as it does what it has to do. Probably this is the second reason why scientists should not publish articles about UFOs and penises, because it doesn't come across right. Why do you, as a scientist, a space cowboy, a rocket engineer, a rocket scientist, need to explain dicks to us? I don't understand. That just makes no sense. But anyway, apparently the public, all of a sudden, it just hit them like those V8 commercials back in the day. All of a sudden, right smack in the forehead. Geez, why is Jeff Bezos designing a space stick for people to get into? Yeah. So a couple of scientists chimed in. They said, hey, check this out. Lucy Rogers is one of them, and she is the author of a book called It's Only Rocket Science. And basically, she tries to explain in plain English what rocket science is. She has a PhD in mechanical engineering, and she says that the shape of the rocket has to do with aerodynamics in order to reduce drag. So we shape it like a penis. She has a pretty good example in here, I gotta say. She says, think of a jumbo jet without the wings and sitting on its tail. She probably has a few instruments that look that way. She says, it looks like a penis. She also says, if you look at arrows, bullets, and fireworks, they generally have the same penis type of shape. So she agrees. There's a lot of phallus going on. But there's a reason for it, because it needs to get somewhere, and apparently it reduces drag. So I know some of you guys are happy about that. Paul Freeman, who's a photographer that likes to photograph space artifact, tells Inverse, which is the folks that published this article, that the cone basically helps with efficiency. Scott Manley, another guy from YouTube, says this in regards to Blue Origin. They went through a lot of iterations, coming up with perfect shapes that gives them the most volume, the best windows, and wouldn't kill anyone on board. And this is a shape that they came up with, a dick. Well, there you go. How about the only thing that they forgot to mention here was the idea of penetration? But they are scientists. You can't blame them for that. But that's why they did it. There's a scientific reason behind the penis in space, so we just gotta live with it. Until the point that we can get into, gravitational fields and things like that, we're gonna have to ride on penises before we can ride on saucers. That's just the bottom line. We have to accept that. One thing that I did call out in the last episode was that the star of the show on Tuesday would be Wally Funk, 82 years old, denied space travel since she was a youngin'. When I tell you that Wally Funk took over the whole damn launch, you could not keep her from showing how excited she was. Honestly. Now, I did think at one point when she was climbing up to the rocket, because Bezos can't afford elevators to get you to the top of the penis, it looked like she was starting to slow down, and they were going to have to carry her up the rest of the way. But, man, Wally Funk was the star of the show. I am 1,000% grateful to Blue Origin and Jeff Bezos for choosing Wally Funk to go up there at 82 years of age, the oldest person to be an astronaut in space, even though it was for fucking 10 minutes. She did it. She went by the Kármán line. She was now an astronaut for a whole last 10 minutes. Congratulations, Wally Funk. Now, apparently she didn't have really good reviews about her flight. Like, they didn't give any meals, no drinks, nothing like that. No warm towels to put on her face. Something that she did tell the New York Post was, we went right up on, and I saw darkness. I thought I was going to see the world, but we weren't quite high enough. There you go. That should tell you a lot. The article says, while the suborbital Blue Origin flight goes 10 miles higher than the rival Virgin Galactic, the footage from the onboard flight's passenger capsule shows what Funk's talking about. They say that she basically gave him a 2-star review. So you guys who are spending hundreds of thousands of dollars for that 10-minute flight, think twice. What else can you expect? You are the one of the first 4 individuals to ride on that phallus into space. Even if it was for 10 minutes, I for damn sure know that shit was free for her. So come on, Wally. Cut the shit. But congratulations, you did it. The article, I have a second article actually linked in the description. It is titled Wally Funk becomes oldest person to fly to space 60 years after she was denied the opportunity. That particular article by the company that is known to have a peacock actually gives you the entire history of Wally Funk and all the things that she went through, all her achievements, all up to now, culminating in her phallus ride. So, listen, it is what it is. She made it. We appreciate the fact that she's there. And her energy was unbelievable throughout the entire process. So congratulations, Wally Funk. I guess okay job there, Mr. Dick Designer Bezos and the team. But really, this is like throwing down the gauntlet, right? Because now Elon Musk needs to put on Starship a middle schooler and some old 100-year-old with elephantitis of the balls. And they have to stay up there at least 20 minutes. That's, the gauntlet has been thrown. That's what Elon Musk has to do. For real. Check this out.
Let's go to work, 'cause I'm tripping. Gotta work on myself, 'cause I'm falling apart. Please wake me up, 'cause I'm slipping. Can't fight this feeling off no more. But I'm not going to give up and fall. Rise above the dome. Need all my challenges and search for my strength. I defeat them all. I'm never ever gonna hide no more. I come to love myself again. Yeah. For all the things I didn't know, the pain, the hurt, I let it go. Start to believe in myself and life will be sweet again. So sweet again. Oh na 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 na. When all I see is darkness and gloom, yeah, I'll be running from my doom. Oh na 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 na. But now it's time to live my life, and now I know what I need to do. Can't stand right when it's blowing, pushing me down. Feels like I'm falling apart, yet I hold on. Head held high, can't fight this feeling off no more. But I'm not going to give up and fall. Rise above it all. Beat all my challenges and search for my strength. I defeat them all. I never ever gonna hide no more. I come to love myself again, again. For all the things I didn't know, the pain, the hurt, I let it go. Let it go. And I start to believe in myself, and life will be sweet again. Oh na na, oh na 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 na. When all I see is darkness and gloom, yeah, I'll be running from my doom. Oh na 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 na. But now it's time to live my life, and now I know what I need to do. Oh na 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 na. When all I see is darkness and gloom, yeah, I'll be running from my doom. Oh na 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 na. But now it's time to live my life, and now I know what I need to do.
Don't fucking scream at me.
Where's
you
the
dumb
money?
fuck you? Look at you with your fucking 48% body fat.
I know for some reason the system has some serious ass fucking delays. Like, I'm clicking stuff and it takes about 3 to 5 seconds before it actually plays. This is one of those articles where I'm like, see what I mean? Do you understand what I'm saying? Do you understand the words that come out of my mouth? This is what's happening. By the way, I'm sipping on some double oak whiskey. So some of the shit I say might be gibberish today. I'm going to be honest with you. I'm telling you the truth, so you know. Don't blame me. Blame the whiskey maker, because shit's good. The Pentagon has extremely clear 23-minute UFO video showing multiple craft moving in strange patterns, claims insider. Now, this insider that we're talking about is Lou Elizondo. Lou Elizondo, who ran the Advanced Aerospace Threat Identification Program, which we love to call ATIP, but after a news article about space penises, ATIP seems a little weird. But anyway, last month, or it might have been the month before, I said Lou is going on these interviews, and he looks like the cat that swallowed the canary. Like he literally has something that he wants to say. He's holding on to those cards. He's got shit up his sleeve. And, you know, a lot of people said, no, that's not Lou. I mean, Lou is Lou. Lou wouldn't do that. Guess guess what? He did. Lou didn't swallow the canary. No, he might have shat it alive, but no. He went on Witness, Citizen UAP, and Fade to Black, 2 podcasts that are out there. I've never heard of Witness, Citizen UAP. This is news for me. But while he was giving this interview, all of a sudden, he says that this video, 23-minute UFO video that the Pentagon has, is real. He says when people look at this video, it will make you go, whoa. Shock and awe. More so than the videos that were released almost 4 years ago now. The Go Fast, the Gimbal, and the Tic Tac video. And recently, the Navy video about these UFOs. Ladies and gentlemen, this shit's fucking real. It is sad that we have this stigma that has been ingrained into the mind of society so much about UFOs that when the shit is real, no one wants to even look at it. No one wants to pay attention to it. Nobody cares. Ladies and gentlemen, this is the armed forces. These are the men and women who are tasked with keeping America safe, America great. We rely on them to protect us, to protect the nation. And if they come around and tell you there's some fucked up shit in the air flying around us, like these things don't give no fucks. Who cares? They really don't care that there's a $30 million jet in the air. They will fly circles around it, and no one's listening. That's what the stigma has done. According to Lou, which incidentally he resigned from this Pentagon program back in 2017, not 1945, 2017, 4 years ago. Still people believe that the UFOs that we talk about today are from the 40s. Black and white films. No, this is all in color. This is Ultra HD for you. These are UFOs that are being caught on smartphones, not flip phones. But anyway, he says that the actual videos, he forwarded them to other people in the intelligence or unintelligent committee and communities, of course. And he said the first thing they would do, they would reply, these must be the UFO videos. But he wouldn't tell them he thought they were UFOs. He himself described them as extremely compelling, definitely and perplexing. They're definitive. But he wouldn't tell them, hey, Robert? Yeah, Robert, Intelligence Committee member number 5. Can you look at this UFO video for me? He wouldn't go that far. He really would just send it to them to get a second, a third, a fourth, a fifth opinion. And basically, they would return, many of them, asking about the UFO video. But it's never been released. The Pentagon has not released the videos. The Pentagon, the Unintelligent Committee out of Congress, the Alphabet Soups, they've all released videos or statements or incidents that they have recorded that have nothing to do with ATIP. So again, why is it that a government-funded program was not part of the UAP report? Here's more evidence. And again, sadly enough, I got to say this. Lou Elizondo is the cat with the canary in his mouth, because every time you hear him speak, even though he releases a little more every single time, he still believes that he needs to protect his clearances for top secret information, for fuck's sake. Like, Luke, come a little closer to the microphone. Well, no, not the microphone, to the speaker. Just put your ear next to it, Luke. I gotta tell you something, because the moment that you borrowed, or permanently borrowed the videos that were given to To The Stars Academy, which had UAPs/UFOs in it, that the Pentagon was examining, the minute you hot-tailed it out of there, your clearance was fucked. And it remains fucked. And it will forever be fucked. Anyone that steals or borrows permanently government information, video documents, really, there is no other way that this can go. They don't want you back. They really don't. They don't want you working for them. They don't want you handling. They don't even want you to handle their spam at this point. No, sir. So just get all the information out. Stop fucking around. Your place in the world of intelligence is done. And you should accept that. Just go ahead and accept it. Be the UFO god that you are meant to be. And just let us know everything. What's the worst they can do? Throw you in jail because you released the truth? Come on. You'll get out in a few years. It'll be okay. And plus, you're a pretty big guy. They're not going to fuck with you. I promise you. So there you go. That's the article that, I was saying. Look, I knew it all along. You could literally see it in his face. Thanks, Bugs. You could see it in his face. And he has a lot more to say. He's seen so much when it comes to the things that he saw through ATIP from 2008 to 2012. 4 years of this kind of information. Yeah, sorry, guy. Just let it go. Just tell us what we need to know so we can move the fuck on. It's okay. Your top secret clearance, niet, as the Russians would say, niet. It's gone. Check out the link in the description if you want to hear more about what old Lou Elizondo had to say. But, I mean, be honest, man. Like if I went around and I was working for Hostess and I stole the recipe for their next cookie, for fuck's sake, not even Nabisco will hire me. I'm just saying.
All I ever wanted was you, but you left me alone inside these empty, broken walls. And I can't see it clearly, but it's obvious. I know that you left me alone inside this empty, broken hall. And now you'll be the reason why my soul is tainted. Somebody help me, 'cause I'm
Not even area. Sorry, I'm looking at the live chat. We're talking about how the Norm actually lives in Area 51. But this article again goes to a point that I made the moment that the UAP report was printed. It's a little bit of a stretch, not that much. The article from KSN is alleged UFO sighting at Skinwalker Ranch, Brandon Fugal. Eyewitness account on Jessop's journal. Fugal, I don't know. I guess if he's a badass and he knows martial arts, he'll be Fugal. But if he's French Fugal, I'm not really sure. I don't know how else the fuck you say it. But anyway, this is the guy that currently owns the Skinwalker Ranch right now. He is the one who purchased it from the one and only Deuce Bigalow, the Space Gigolo, also known as Robert Bigelow, the billionaire extraordinaire, eccentric kind of guy. You'll have to go like a few weeks back to listen to the episode where I played his interview from a few years back. But Robert Bigelow has been chasing UFOs for a long time. Ever since he heard about his grandparents and their UFO incident in the fucking 50s, he's been wanting to answer that question. He's been wanting to answer the question about where the fuck do we go after we die? Is there life after death? Can you communicate with the other side? He acquired Skinwalker Ranch because shit was going down. He put together a bunch of scientists to go in there and examine what happened at Skinwalker Ranch. The shit was crazy. Little by little, we hear about the things, the unexplained things that scientists and Robert Bigelow, as we like to call him, the Space Gigolo, has actually experienced himself in connection with Skinwalker Ranch. And then apparently, all of a sudden, the paranormal activity stopped. The fucking place went dead. And so all his science people packed their shit up. They left. Robert Bigelow put the damn place on the market, sold it to Brandon Fugal, the karate guy. So Brandon's like, I was a skeptic. Like, I brought this damn thing 5 years ago. And, I didn't believe in UFOs or any of that craziness. But I purchased it. And then, all of a sudden, shit went down. Again, this is the thing about being skeptical. It's fantastic. You should always be a skeptic about the crazy shit you hear. But like Fugal, not Steven, Brandon, like Fugal, sometimes you're confronted by the unexplained, the paranormal, the shit that just you read in books, you see in movies, or you hear from the previous owner of the fucking property. And you're like, what the fuck do I do now? He clearly, in a statement that he made to KSN, he states, I brought the ranch as a skeptic, as a healthy skeptic. I have never seen a UFO, a ghost, an orb, or anything of the sort in my life, and I disclosed that to the previous owner, being Deuce Bigalow, the Space Gigolo. This is what he claimed. So apparently at one point, let me just backtrack a little bit, because apparently he decided to get his own science fuckers in to examine the property. And this became what now we understand is a show, a documentary series on cable, which I didn't even put down the name of this, but I'm sure you guys have seen it. So they asked him about, what about your claims that you and the team have experienced unexplained phenomena? This is what he explained. The first 6 months of owning Skinwalker Ranch, I really saw zilch, nada, nothing. As I just explained, Deuce Bigelow, the Space Gigolo, said the reason they sold the place was because everything just died. Completely dead. But he says, because of the 6 months of nothing, I basically believed there was nothing unusual about the property. He says then that all changed. They had multiple witnesses with him during one of the incidents where they saw what can only be described as an unidentified flying craft 40 to 50 feet long. It was silver disc hovering right above the mesa, right in front of his peeps and himself. He said it wasn't a blinking light in the sky or something that was a little ambiguous. He said it was a solid object that appeared out of nowhere, could move at the blink of an eye, in over 20 seconds perform maneuvers that he believed defy any propulsion physics that were acquainted, that the scientists himself were acquainted with. And then we get the UAP report, which identifies balloons. This is why I say that Deuce Bigelow, the Space Gigolo, Robert Bigelow, who owned Skinwalker Ranch, who also participated in the program we just talked about from 2008 to 2012, the ATIP program, who used part of that $25 million of government tax money in order to also investigate Skinwalker Ranch while he had his science team there, that he is the guy that has all the answers to what UFOs are. This is the guy that we need in front of the unintelligent committee whenever they decide to have a hearing. It just baffles the mind that they started their report from 2014 knowing very well that the government paid for a study of UFOs and paranormal activity from 2008 to 2012. That was done on purpose. I promise you. It was done on purpose because the guys that released the first 3 videos of those famous UFOs that started this whole UAP report thing, they were part of that circle. They were part of ATIP. They were part of Robert Bigelow's circle of investigation and knowledge. This is the same guy who also took reports from the FAA. If you called the FAA during the time of ATIP, they would forward you to Bigelow Aerospace in order for you to report your UFO sighting. It didn't go to some alphabet soup office. It didn't go to some guy in a closet, janitorial closet, 30 feet below the ground. It went to Bigelow Aerospace. So if there's anyone, again, besides Louis Elizondo, the cat with the canary in his mouth, and it has to be Robert Bigelow, the guy who took information from everywhere in his search as a billionaire to solve the UFO mystery. He's the one who should be in front of a congressional hearing. Louis Elizondo should be in front of Congress, in front of the Unintelligent Committee, in order to face a hearing and tough questions about what the hell has been going on in the United States with the Pentagon, with the Department of Defense, and these consistent UFO hearings, sightings, should I say, throughout the years that we've been ignoring just because. I'll tell you. Listen, Fugal and his karate moves at Skinwalker Ranch. I'm sure that documentary is great. We got to check it out. You know, it's something Skinwalker Ranch. I don't know what the hell the name of the title is. But I'm sure it's going to be fascinating because the stories that have leaked out of Skinwalker Ranch during that period, back in the 2008 time frame, are phenomenal. They're things that you see in fucking movies. And here's a guy who had an entire team of scientists that researched it, that had months of data, years of data, who for the most part is keeping that mostly secret. But leaks are happening, and thanks to Fugal, we know that shit does really go down at Skinwalker Ranch even today. So there you go. Check that out. Put that in your data banks, and let's get this shit moving. One more article to go. You guys are going to love this one, I'm sure. But who knows? You might hate me for it.
I've been in your waters. Looking for sure. I've never been so close before. It's one way or the other.
By the way, I want to say what's up to the guys who are in the live chat this evening with me on Hump Day. And that is Greenman, Gamevid, The Norm, Dre, and one of our newest live listeners, that one and only today's veteran, also a.k.a. Mike, who has been on here listening to the madness. And we can't forget also the Puckster, Pucky, who has joined us as well. You can too also. If you listen to the podcast on Spreaker, you'll be able to get on in there live. Otherwise, you can listen to the podcast on Spotify, iHeart, Stitcher, iTunes, Google Podcasts, yada, yada, yada. Wherever you want to listen to, it'll be there. Let's get on to the last article for today, because this is another reason why scientists should stay away from the topic of UFOs. alien abduction stories may come from lucid dreaming, according to a study. Now, I want to preface this to the study, while it's been talked about for decades when it comes to alien abductions, that people might be asleep when they experience these things. This study itself actually is coming from Mother Russia. So you two listeners in Russia, this is about you guys in Russia. And by the way, make sure you share the podcast at the Kremlin so that we could get some more listeners out there. Come on. Let's be done. Lucid dreaming apparently is a state that you're in, right? So you're partially aware that you are you're in an environment, a dream environment, and you can actually control your dream. And so scientists are saying in Russia that this could explain alien abduction stories. No, let's just back up for a second, for fuck's sake. Okay, comrade? Because the truth is that there are many people who have alien abduction situations which are driving vehicles. So I don't understand how you could have a lucid dream while you're driving a vehicle. That's a new one to me. The study also says that the claims of abductions date back to the 19th century. Okay. 19th century. People were dreaming about aliens and being abducted before it was basically a household term. You're basically giving us an explanation for lucid dreaming and abductions as a connection before people saw E.T. or Aliens the movie, or what is that other one? The Body Snatcher movie. I mean, we got to go way back, right? Let's go back to the black and white days for film. We're talking about before TV, when people were dreaming about alien abductions, before we even defined it as an entertainment industry, that they actually existed, before even fucking comic books. They're saying that people had lucid dreams and alien abductions were part of that. Makes no fucking sense whatsoever. He says when you get into these lucid dreaming situations, some of the circumstances that may come up is kidnappings, or things like sounds that trigger feelings of terror, paralysis. But leading Russian researchers apparently think that some of the things that people feel during lucid dreams are alleged extraterrestrial experiences, which started in the 19th century before we really aliens went mainstream. My thing is, with aliens and stuff like that, like, not everyone is exposed to it, but yet a lot of people question it. There are a lot of folks who say that they've never really been exposed to the idea of E.T. before they've had their sighting, before they've experienced things like abduction, experimentation, alien sex, baby, if you can. So lucid dreaming, it really is something difficult to swallow. Sorry about the Russia, but this might be one where we fail. But anyway, there was a study conducted by the Russian team, and they said that about 55% of people experience lucid dreams about once or more in their lifetime. 23% have lucid dreams at least once a month, and according to a 2016 study in the Journal of Consciousness and Cognition, they realized 5 decades worth of sleep research is the numbers that they came up with. 50 years they studied this, which is very strange. So these guys at the Phase Research Center, PRC, which is a private facility in Moscow. By the way, you guys share the podcast in Moscow as well. Go Trump. They say that they conducted an experiment with 152 adults who self-identified as lucid dreamers. Like literally, they go to sleep, they get all lucid on you. So they used these guys and they instructed them to find or summon aliens or UFOs during a lucid dream. And they reported on July 2nd of this year in the International Journal of Dream Research that 114 of the participants reported dreaming about having some type of successful interaction with an extraterrestrial. Of those, 61% described meeting aliens that resembled extraterrestrials from science fiction novels and films. And 19% meant aliens that looked like ordinary people. The problem is that they were, really, if the Kremlin tells you, dream about aliens, fuck, you're gonna dream about every alien you ever heard of. I'll be honest. Because you will disappear. You fuck up and you're not in that high percentile, you're fucked. You'll get some kind of nuclear shit shut up you and you'll be, poisoned radioactively. Who knows? But this is not the kind of study where you fuck around and become the outlier. Shit, I'm surprised they didn't report 100% of the people were probed during their dreams. I'm just saying. But here's the thing, and it speaks true to where this study really failed. It doesn't talk about a control group like a bunch of lucid dreamers where they didn't tell them about UFOs and aliens and whether or not they dreamed about getting probed. Doesn't mention that, but it could just be the article, for all I know, out of lifescience.com. Doesn't mention that. It just mentions that they told them, you dream about aliens tonight. Fuck, I'm gonna dream about aliens. I'm gonna do all kind of nasty shit to aliens if someone from the Kremlin tells me I need to. That's the honest truth. But there's a study. None of these guys, even though they all said they were lucid dreamers, they were all pretty much given the instructions to summon aliens. So whether you are a lucid dreamer or not, for fuck's sake, you will probably dream about E.T. boning you. If that's what's going to get you home at night, that's what's going to happen. It could be that alone that made these so-called lucid dreamers successfully have an alien interaction in their sleep. And again, if we're talking about 19th century, 18th century, we can go back several hundred years. None of these guys going back who had alien abductions, who were experiencers, none of them experienced this through the type of social media and the entertainment channels we have today. So really, it is apples to oranges. And I really feel that it was probably the way they were told to dream about fucking aliens that caused them to do it. I'm just be honest with you. You take it for what it's worth. You guys in Russia, the two guys in Russia that listen to the podcast, please, Moscow, Kremlin, wherever you want to go, let them know that Tempest Universe is on to them and they need to stop fucking around because that's not cool. Here's the end of the podcast. I appreciate you guys listening every single day. Especially you guys in Australia who are bringing it up and showing some of that other side of the hemisphere type of love. And this song is for you fellow bogans. Ciao.
switch sides. Like, even when I die, I'ma ride for the squad. Let our ties in the hearse. I've been on the vibe, kinda hard to describe. I'm in between, I'm good and it's fine, but I'm tired of the grind. Then I come alive in the night to realize I'm in the middle of the time of my life. I'm never so packed for the stack, never lied on the rap. Got a bag from the way that I write it. Queen looking Tyson, do that ass survive, doing 80 to the house. Then I hit into the sky change, haters on a tirade. Talking to their grip in the face, be still, let that hate stuff fade. We all want the same, we all want a meal in the safe. I wanna live like I'm trying to reach enlightenment. Trail spill from my lips, feel big from the bib. Take a sip till I pass out. I'm trying to get grit, but it don't make sense. Cause you can lose life on this fast route. Yeah, turn thoughts to a cash cow. I might flip that to the glass house. I don't need the accolades, I'm in love with the chase. I just wanna eat, save a spot at the table. Beast with the slap, pin myself on the map. You long with the way, but we know that it's good. 5-hour flights, couple nights at the flat. To be real, couldn't see me making moves while I'm at. I'm still on the grind, limit time when I chat. I'm burning down sage, keep the demons away. When I write it, give a piece of myself to the page. I don't do it for the praise, love, that's just how I'm made.
Truth in the glass in the mirror. Yeah. Do it at me, old man, tryna pass in the fear. You're the first one to talk, but the last one to hear. Eyes blurry, but I couldn't see the ass, and he cleared down. Start to feel like I'm on one. Settle in, I'll be here for the long run. I'm a slave for the cash, got snakes in the grass, no brakes on the ad, but it's all fun. We done seen it all, heard it all. Heard enough, give me space before I murder y'all. 10 bad bitches here, I'ma curve them all. 12 missed calls, and I still made a curtain call. Here to light it up, lighten up. Hear him talking, they ain't right enough, tighten up. Everything that I came for, I left with. I don't bang sets, I just bang on the set list. Going past supper when I came for the breakfast. Put me in your prayers, I might put you on the guest list. Young niggas in me reckless. Gold in my soul, got the same on my necklace, bitch.
I don't give a fuck.